Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So in today's episode, we're going to give you 5 tips and or methods to have healthy disagreements with your spouse. So look, here at Salty Ginger Talk, we don't do fluff, right? We do real talk for people that think, that want to do things, and self-leaders. So have you ever found yourself in a disagreement with your spouse that went from what should we do about dinner to you never support me in 5 seconds flat? Yeah, you're not alone, right? It happens to all of us. I've been married for 33 years. Even the best of us, even long, happy relationships go through periods where you're going to have disagreements. It's how the world works, right? That's actually not the problem. Part of the problem is how you have those disagreements. And that's what this conversation is about. You're going to disagree over stupid stuff. Nate Bargatze is a great comedian. He does a bit on an argument where he and his wife didn't talk to each other for 24 hours over chocolate milk, right? So it's a good bit. It's the truth. You never know what's going to send you guys down the rabbit hole, but how you have the disagreement is terribly important. We're going to give you 5 tips on how to have that disagreement in a productive way so you don't wind up in divorce court. All right, so tip 1, stay calm. Cannot stress this enough. Emotional regulation is your strategic advantage when you're disagreeing with your spouse. It's one of the biggest mistakes people make is losing emotional control. Science backs this up. According to renowned marriage researcher Dr. John Gottman, one of the strongest predictors of divorce is what he calls emotional flooding. That spike in the heart rate and stress that makes it impossible to think clearly or communicate effectively. When you're emotionally flooded, your brain's logical centers shut down. You stop thinking rationally. You're not problem solving, you're surviving. So here's what you should not do. We're going to give you some don'ts right now. Don't raise your voice. Don't roll your eyes. Don't bring up 6 months of pent-up frustration in a single run-on sentence where you explode on your spouse. Not the way to do it. What you should do instead, slow down. Take a few deep breaths. If you need to pause the conversation for 20 minutes, say so. I need a bit. I want this to be productive. Give me a chance to collect my thoughts. It's important to me that we finish this conversation. Say it just like that. Step away, regulate your emotions, get your mind right, and then come back with clarity. And if your spouse asks for the same thing, grant it to them without exception. Don't give them shit about it. Don't say, you always do this, you want to walk away. Let them collect their thoughts, pick up the conversation when you're both more rational, okay? So, real world example. A husband feels dismissed when his wife questions his decisions in front of friends. Instead of confronting her angrily that night, he takes 15 minutes to breathe, then brings it up calmly the next day, expressing how it made him feel and what he needs going forward. Okay? So, you could even set up a pause word with your spouse, something like reset or 30, right? If you're a Ted Lasso fan, when the word Oklahoma was said, you had to tell the truth no matter what. So come up with a code word that you can just say to your spouse so they know, hey, I need a minute. I need to reset here. I need to take a break, and so we can talk about this rationally. Either of you can say that word when emotions start to rise, and you have to respect the pause. When the other spouse says it, your spouse says it, you have to respect the pause. Come back to the issue with a clear mind. Okay? That's a great way to go. Tip number 2, you want to attack the problem, not the other person. Have you ever heard someone say, you're just lazy in the middle of an argument? That's not communication. That's character assassination. It's called an ad hominem attack. You're attacking the person and their characteristics, not the issue. Research from the Journal of Family Psychology shows that personal attacks trigger defensiveness and shut down problem solving. Criticism kills that connection with your spouse. It makes it really difficult to communicate. So, here's an example of what not to do. You're so inconsiderate. You never think of anyone but yourself. Personal attack, not the way to do it. You're going to make them defensive. You're going to make it hard to communicate. A wife tells her husband, real world example, a wife tells her husband, you never help around the house, right? He shuts down. Never is we don't like global statements. Never, always, don't make those statements in an argument because they're rarely true. See, I didn't even use a global statement to describe global statements. Global statements are rarely true. Some of them are true. Everybody dies, that's true. But global statements are rarely true. You don't care about anyone but yourself. That's probably not true. You have issues with particular behaviors, got it, but bring up those particular behaviors. So instead of you never help around the house, you could say, I feel overwhelmed doing everything alone last weekend. Can we make a plan together for sharing the chores, the household responsibilities? Now they're problem solving. Now it's a communication. Now it's collaboration between the two people, right? So a real world action tip here is to use the sentence structure like this in your next disagreement. I feel, insert the emotion that you feel here, when, insert the behavior that you've noticed here, because, and why it matters to you, okay? I feel, insert emotion, when, the behavior that's bothering you, because, why it matters to you, okay? Use that sentence structure. That will work. What I'd appreciate is, and then insert the solution, right? Real straightforward, not emotional, not a personal attack. You're not putting the other person on the defensive. You can say that in a non-confrontational way, and you can make it a habit so that you can communicate more effectively with your spouse, okay? So put that in the bank, write that down. Tip number 3, you want to listen to your spouse to understand what they're saying, not to win an argument. Most people don't listen to understand. They listen to reload. They listen to rebut. That's not what you want to do. Reflective listening, where you paraphrase what your spouse said to show that you truly heard them, is proven to increase marital satisfaction. According to a 2016 study in Communication Monographs. What you don't want to do is interrupt. Don't rebut immediately, don't reply immediately, and don't dismiss what they said. Listen. Say things like, so what I hear you saying is, or it sounds like you felt is that right? Right? I think what I heard is, let me repeat this to you to make sure I got it. Use those phrases. That way there's no ambiguity to what you're doing and that your spouse knows you are listening to them because you're repeating it back to them. So, real world example. During a financial disagreement, instead of responding with, you just don't get how money works, try, you're saying you're anxious about spending because you're worried about our future. That makes sense. Let's talk through the numbers. Right now it's a collaboration again. Now it's a communication. It's not accusatory. It's not putting someone on defensive. It's not emotional. It's problem solving. And that's where you want to be. So in your next disagreement, repeat your partner's main point back to them before offering your own thoughts or your own statements. It might feel awkward at first, but it instantly shifts the tone from competition to cooperation. It's a great way to go. In negotiation, it's called mirroring, where you repeat the last 3 words someone says so that they will keep talking. And when you're talking to your spouse, recap what they said to you so they know you heard it. That creates collaboration. It makes them feel heard, and it will really help your conversations. Tip number 4, don't try to win the argument. Try to fight for the relationship. Arguments with your spouse should not be about winning. It should not be about right or wrong. If one of you wins, it means the other one loses, and then the relationship loses, and that's not what you want. Dr. Sue Johnson, founder of Emotionally Focused Therapy, emphasizes that strong couples adopt a we first mindset during conflict, not a me first, a we first. They see themselves as a team facing the issue, not as enemies in a battle. It's not you versus me, it's us versus the world. Do not keep score. Say things like, well, you did this last week, or I'm right, you're wrong. Not, nope, bad path. You're setting it up for confrontation. You don't want to be there. Ask collaborative questions instead, like, how can we fix this together? Or what do we both need to do to feel right now? Okay? Make it collaborative. How are we going to solve this problem together? Not, you suck, you do this, you do that. Don't attack the person. Don't try to win the argument. Fight to make the relationship better. That's what you're talking about, and you should be working together to make that happen. Real world example. A couple arguing about parenting styles stops and asks, what's the real fear behind each of our positions? They realize both want their kids to feel secure, to feel safe, to grow up to be good people. They just have different strategies. Now they're working together. So the action step here is after any heated discussion or when things get tense or you can feel that emotion building, schedule a 10-minute repair conversation. Ask each other, what did I say that rubbed you the wrong way? What did I say that hurt your feelings? What did I do that made you feel bad? What could we do differently next time? This turns conflict into connection. Again, you're problem solving. You always want to get this to a point where you're working together to solve the issue at hand. That's what all of these tips are about. That's what they all have in common. Okay? Tip number 5, stick to one issue at a time. One of the quickest ways to tank an argument is what psychologists call kitchen sinking. Throwing in every unrelated complaint that you've stored up. It's not the airing of the grievances. It's not the time to list out every single thing that your spouse has done over the last 3 months that's bothered you that you haven't said anything about. It's not the time for that. You want to stick to the issue at hand. A 2019 study in personal relationships found that staying focused on one issue increases resolution rate by 70%. When you jump from topic to topic, no problem gets solved. It just creates a mess. So don't do this. And another thing, your mom was rude last Christmas and you didn't say anything, right? Dragging up the past, throwing it into an argument. It's got nothing to do with it. And it clouds the issue and creates conflict when you're trying to get to collaboration. Stay anchored to the topic at hand. If another issue comes up, jot it down to talk about it later, but it's not the time to do it right now. Real world example of this is a couple arguing about how to spend a tax refund gets sidetracked into a fight about how one of them handled a birthday gift 6 months ago. They don't resolve anything, but when they agree to stick with just the money issue, they reach a compromise and feel closer. So the action step here is, before you bring something up, just write it down. You don't have to say it out loud. Say, I want to talk about that at some point, mental note, or write it down. What's the one issue you need to discuss right now? Keep the conversation anchored to that one issue. If other concerns arise, park them for later. Stick to the topic at hand. Okay? So, the truth is, strong marriages and strong relationships don't avoid conflict. They navigate it and they take care of it and they face it head on, but they do it with respect, they do it with strategy, and they do it with care about the other person that they're with. So, let's just recap our 5 tips real quick. Stay calm. Emotional regulation gives you clarity. Attack the issue, not your partner. Listen to understand, not to win the argument. Fight for the relationship, not your ego or your spouse. And stick to one issue. Stay focused. It's inevitable. Every couple is going to have disagreements. But couples who argue with purpose, with maturity, and love build something unshakable. These tools don't just help during arguments. They deepen your trust and connection in the overall relationship over a long period of time. Okay? So, that's it, guys. That's how you can have a healthy and respectful and productive disagreement with your spouse. Been with my wife for 33 years. She's an awesome lady. We haven't agreed on everything for 33 years. Shocker. But we've never called each other names. We don't attack each other personally. We stay calm. We stay rational. We work the problem. We show each other respect and care and love. And that's how you have disagreements with your spouse. So, if this helped you, this episode helped you, send it to someone else. They might need it too. It could be helpful to them. So really hope you found use in this. We use these techniques all the time. They work 100%. We hope you also find them helpful. Look, James puts it up right over here every day. Head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All the podcast episodes are available there. Links to all our social media accounts are available there. We've got a newsletter we publish every weekday you can subscribe to there. And please comment, like, share, and subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you consume it on. I'm going to keep giving you great tips on how to make your life better. You don't want to miss them. Make sure you catch the next episode. We will see you there.